Bold and the beautiful Thomas bites back at Paris in desperate twist. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having It was a wonderful day before starting the video. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Bold and the beautiful has Thomas Forrester becoming perturbed with Paris Buckingham this week because she doesn't know when to stop on the CBS soap now that this bride-to-be has found an ally in her future. Sister-in-law Thomas is about to hear it twofold, and he's not having it. Bold and the beautiful Thomas Forrester rolls his eyes. Thomas Forrester Matthew Atkinson still wrestles with his feelings for Hob. Logan Anaka Noel, he played a rather cruel lesson on her with a third, but fake proposal this week. Still some Bold and the beautiful fans aren't convinced just how fake it was. Many think he would have jumped if she said yes. Paris Buckingham Diamond White doesn't know about Thomas toying with his ex via that fake marriage proposal. Instead, the soon-to-be bride sees the Logan daughter throwing herself at Thomas Forrester. Paris catches her future sister-in-law's ear, and she points out that her rival won't believe he moved on from her. Steffi Forrester Jacqueline Mood intently listens to her thoughts about the land daughter's behavior, and she jumps at the chance to add her 2 cents in. So the future Mrs. Forrester now has an ally against her rival. B and B spoilers. Paris Buckingham starts to get on Thomas' nerves. Thomas Forrester kicked in to lightly defend his ex a few times recently. When Paris Buckingham became snarky about her behavior this week, she told her future husband that Hope seemed to like playing the victim, and he cut her off. He told Paris his ex struggles with processing all this, but she will come around. Then the floodgates opened when Paris Buckingham shared her critique of Hope. Logan with Steffi, the two immediately found their opinions of Hope a common ground on. Bold and the beautiful this week smiles appeared on both their faces as they bonded over their thoughts on Thomas' ex, but this didn't sit well with Thomas, who tried to shut them up. He didn't seem to want to hear a Hope bashing session. Still, it didn't stop his future wife and sister, who cackled about their observations of Hope trying to reel Thomas back in. Bold and the beautiful spoilers. Paris is not this man's one woman. Thomas Forrester wasn't too happy about Paris Buckingham and his sister condemning the woman he still loves, and while he admits he still loves her in one way, his tune today is that he fell in love with Paris during the Bold and the beautiful episodes. This week, Thomas interrupted Paris Buckingham a few times when she started on a tangent about his ex. Plus, she also had the nerve to suggest to Brooke Logan Catherine Kelly Lang that her daughter won't let go. Bold and beautiful fans suggest Paris Buckingham seems a bit snarky with her words about the Logan daughter, so Thomas likely won't put up. Have the ending bride starting to worry soon, despite thinking he's a one-woman man and she's that woman. Paris may end up second-guessing herself. B and spoilers. Thomas had enough Paris worries. Clues drop suggesting that Thomas hope and he'll bite back at her, but this time it looks like he bites back harder than before, making her desperate to hold on to him. So in the upcoming episodes of B and B, it looks like Thomas Forrester gets tired of Paris Buckingham's snarky comments about his ex, but on the other hand, his attitude of protecting Hope worries Paris. Bold and the beautiful spoilers suggest the blushing bride joins forces with Steffi to put the Logan daughter in her place. But this is B and B, so that likely backfires. Thomas Forrester will see a side of Paris Buckingham he doesn't like. Maybe this even involves Douglas Forrester. Henry Joseph Samiri this kid limits and reveal hidden truths. This is a tale of ambition, desire, and the inevitable clash that comes when two powerful personalities collide. The Forrester Creations office buzzed with activity as the team prepared for the unveiling of their latest collection. Thomas was in his element, overseeing every detail to ensure perfection. His designs were met with admiration, and his creative vision was once again lauded by his peers. However, beneath his confident exterior, Thomas was battling inner turmoil. Paris Buckingham, with her vibrant energy and undeniable talent, had become an integral part of the Forrester team. Her innovative ideas and fresh perspective had earned her a place at the table, and she had quickly risen through the ranks. But with success came envy and tension, and Paris found herself at odds with some of her colleagues. The tension between Thomas and Paris had been simmering for weeks. They clashed over creative differences, each unwilling to back down. Thomas admired Paris's ambition, but he also saw her as a threat to his own position. Paris, on the other, personal turn when Thomas discovered that Paris had been working on a secret project, one that could potentially overshadow his own work. Furious and feeling betrayed, Thomas confronted Paris in her office late one night. "What are you trying to prove, Paris?" Thomas demanded, his voice laced with anger. "You think you can just waltz in here and take over?" Paris met his gaze, her eyes flashing with defiance. "I'm not trying to take over, Thomas. I'm trying to contribute. You can't handle the fact that someone else might have good ideas." Thomas's fists clenched at his sides. "This isn't just about ideas, Paris. This is about respect and loyalty. You've crossed a line." Paris stood her ground, refusing to back down. "Maybe it's time you realize that you don't have a monopoly on talent, Thomas. I have every right to pursue my own projects." The confrontation left both of them seething, the air between them charged with unresolved tension. Little did they know that this was only the beginning of a series of events that would push them to their limits. In the days that followed, the atmosphere at Forrester Creations grew increasingly strained. Rumors of the confrontation between Thomas and Paris spread like wildfire, and the office buzzed with speculation. The once harmonious team found themselves divided, with loyalties tested and alliances shifting. Thomas, unable to shake off the sense of betrayal, decided to investigate Paris's secret project. He enlisted the help of his trusted assistant Sophie to dig deeper into Paris's activities. Together, they uncovered a trail of emails and confidential documents that hinted at something much bigger than they had anticipated. Meanwhile, Paris was dealing with her own set of challenges. Her secret project, a groundbreaking new line of sustainable fashion, was close to completion. She had poured her heart and soul into it, believing that it could revolutionize the industry. But with Thomas constantly looking over her shoulder, one evening as Paris was working late in her office, she received an unexpected visitor. It was Zini, Forrester, Thomas's cousin, and a talented designer in his own right. Zini had always been supportive of Paris, and she valued his opinion. "Paris, I heard about the confrontation with Thomas," Zendi said, 10:14. Concern evident in his voice. "Are you okay?" Paris sighed, running a hand through her hair. "It's been tough, Zine. Thomas is making it difficult for me to do my job. I feel like I'm constantly fighting an uphill battle." Zen nodded sympathetically. "Thomas can be intense, but don't let him intimidate you. You have a lot of talent, and your project sounds incredible. Just keep pushing forward." Encouraged by Zena's words, Paris resolved to stay focused on her work. But as the pressure mounted, she began to realize that there were more layers to Thomas's actions than she had initially thought. He wasn't just trying to undermine her, he was hiding something. Thomas's investigation into Paris' project led him to a shocking discovery. Buried within the documents Sophie had uncovered was evidence of financial discrepancies within Forrester Creations. Large sums of money had been shunned off, and the trail led directly to Thomas. Paris, unaware of Thomas's predicament, continued to work tirelessly on her project. She had a breakthrough when she secured a high-profile investor who was impressed with her vision for sustainable fashion. The investor's support meant that her project was now ready for launch, and Paris was elated. But her happiness was short-lived. One evening, as she was celebrating her success with Zen, Thomas barged into her office, his expression a mix of anger and desperation. "Paris, we need to talk," he said, his voice tense. Paris looked at him warily. "What is it now, Tom?" Thomas closed the door behind him, lowering his voice. "I know about the financial discrepancies. Someone has been embezzling money from the company, and they've been using my name to do it." Paris's eyes widened in shock. "What, are you serious?" Thomas nodded, his expression grim. "I need your help, Paris. We have to find out who is behind this before it's too late." Despite their differences, Paris could see the genuine and fear in Thomas's eyes. She realized that this was bigger than their rivalry. It was about saving the company and protecting their futures. Reluctantly, she agreed to help him. Together they began to unravel the web of deceit that had been spun around them. They discovered that the embezzlement was part of a larger scheme orchestrated by an external consultant who had been hired to streamline the company's finances. The consultant had taken advantage of his position to siphon off funds leaving a trail of false documents, and forged signatures in his wake with the evidence in hand. Thomas and Paris confronted the consultant, who eventually confessed to his crimes. They turned the evidence over to the authorities, and the consultant was arrested. The financial discrepancies were resolved, and Forrester Creations was saved from a potential scandal. The ordeal brought Thomas and Paris closer to together, forging an unexpected bond. Between them, they realized that despite their differences, they shared a common goal: to see Forrester Creations thrive. Their collaboration on the investigation had shown them that they could achieve great things when they worked together. Thomas, humbled by the experience, began to see Paris in a new light. He admired her determination and resilience, and he regretted the way he had treated her. Paris, in turn, recognized the vulnerability behind Thomas's bravado and appreciated his willingness to seek her help as they moved forward. Thomas and Paris decided to put their differences aside and work towards a common vision for the company. They combined their talents to create a new line of fashion that embodied innovation, sustainability, and creativity. The collection was a resounding success, earning praise from critics and customers alike. Their professional partnership soon blossomed into a deep friendship built on mutual respect and understanding. They supported each other through the challenges of the fashion industry, always striving to push the boundaries of their creativity. Just when it seemed like everything was falling into place, a new twist emerged that threatened to unravel the progress. Thomas and Paris had made a former employee bitter about being let go came forward with allegations of misconduct against Thomas. The accusations were serious and could potentially ruin his career and reputation. Once again, Thomas was blindsided by the allegations, and he felt a familiar sense of fear and desperation creeping in. He knew that he had to clear his name, but the evidence seemed stacked against him. Paris, determined to help her friend, rallied the team to gather evidence that would exonerate Thomas. As they delved deeper into the allegations, they discovered that the former employee had fabricated the accusations in an attempt to blackmail Thomas. Armed with this new information, they confronted the former employee, who eventually admitted to the scheme. The truth came out, and Thomas's name was cleared once more. The experience brought Thomas and Paris even closer, solidifying their bond. They realized that they could overcome any challenge as long as they stood by each other. Their journey had been filled with twists and turns, but they had emerged stronger and more united than ever.